Joshua Smith here, and welcome to the GSD Mode Podcast. Now get shit done and smash that subscribe button now. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode Podcast interview. Every single week, I interview top real estate professionals, top entrepreneurs, and straight up top badasses that are out there dominating their space. And today, guys, got another epic, amazing guest here on the show. Our guest today, Angie VanEman. Now, Angie is a realtor, team leader, brokerage owner, and also the owner and creator of the Branded Agent, which is a social media branding app for real estate agents to help them continue to grow and crush their social media real estate business. Angie is also an NAR 30 under 30 finalist winner and consistently closed 100 to 150 deals each and every year as an individual agent up until a few years ago when she decided to go from an individual agent to creating her own team as well as her brokerage, so then that she could continue to scale her business as well as spend more quality time with her son. And today's podcast interview, guys, Angie breaks down her journey and how she continues to absolutely dominate her real estate market. Now, real quick, before we jump into this podcast interview, if you haven't already, make sure that you snag my new book at joshuasmithfreebook.com. It'll be delivered to your email box within seconds. It's 100% free, nothing being sold. The book is called Dominate Your Real Estate Business, Top Tips from a Top Producer. I go through 40 plus top tips that I've utilized over the last 15 plus years of my real estate career that have allowed me to become one of the top realtors and team leaders on the planet. And again, there's no fluff, nothing being sold, just top methods, tips, and strategies to help you dominate your real estate business. Again, joshuasmithfreebook.com. It'll be emailed to you within seconds. joshuasmithfreebook.com. All right, let's jump into this amazing podcast interview with my good friend, Angie. All right, Angie, welcome back to the GSD Mode Podcast, my friend.
Hi, friend. How are you?
Doing amazing. And I am so excited to have you back on. I was just looking through all my but past podcasts. You were actually my second guest that I had on the show. Yeah, it was published February 11th of 2015. Feels like yesterday, man. These but I've been so excited to have you back on, and because I know that so much has happened since then. You were at the time. We met back in 2011 at the NAR 30 under 30. We both won that award that year and met in Chicago. And you're an individual agent, first year in the business. Well, I don't know if that was your first year in the business, but you crushed it out of the gate.
Yeah, first year selling full time in my market.
Yeah. And then, then you built this amazing business as an individual agent doing, between 100 and 150 deals every year consistently on your own as an individual agent. And again, I know in this last 5 years, you've now grown a team, you've become a mom, you co-own a brokerage, you started a software company. So man, you've been...
I've got coffee.
Yeah. So you've been moving and shaking. So let's just kind of rewind the clocks and pick up from kind of where we ended in the first podcast, which for those that are watching and listening, if you want to, we'll have that linked right below. If you go to the show notes, you'll be able to see a link to Angie's first podcast, which is really about her journey, how she got started in real estate, how she built a business as an individual agent doing 100 plus deals. And so all that's below, so you guys can link that. But again, like I mentioned, I just want to kind of pivot into, what's, happened the last, few years of your life and what you're up to today. So again, last time that we had you on here, you were an individual agent doing a high production. What led to you starting the team and also co-owning this brokerage?
A lot of it came down to just basically burning out. I was doing, I think I did 120, then 140, 160, 140 deals as an individual agent, all on my own, wearing every single hat. So then what I decided, I was like, I need to hire an assistant. So I hired an assistant to help me do transaction coordination, basically all the running around the city inspections, just staying on top of all this stuff for me. So I could, have a little bit more free time to get out there. Because I used to go to work at 4:30 in the morning. I'd come home at 11. You know those hours. And it was just kind of crazy and kind of took a little bit of a toll on my health. And so I was like, I need to work smarter, not harder. And so I hired an assistant to help me out with the things I was just saying. And I was still so busy, and my client load was just way too heavy that I could handle. So my mom owned American Way Realty. She actually is the founder of it. So in 2017, January, we restructured the company to move my assistant into a transaction coordinator role, brought on another operations director as well, have an on-staff professional photographer who does all of our pictures in-house only, and just basically restructure our company, our brokerage. I came in as a co-owner then, and then I'm team leader of our agency. So we've always been small by design. We want top producing full-time agents. We don't offer training. We stick with what we're good at. We're not really great at training new agents and kind of babysitting their paperwork and whatnot. And so we did that, and so we transitioned the company over that way, and so also made it easier for me to be such a high producer to refer stuff out to my team. I'm still involved as team leader, but then it makes sense too to say, okay, I've got all these buyers, why am I giving them to different agents in my company versus kind of a team structure? And it just works really well too. And now, so my assistant had stepped into, like I said, the transaction coordinating role, and so she took on all the other files along too. And so our agents were able to be more productive, get out there, buy, get buyers, show them the houses, find sellers, instead of working on paperwork and kind of bogging their time up there. Also, we're not going to have last minute running around chicken with our head cut off trying to get paperwork before closing. So really just the way we changed the company has been beneficial for everybody. And then it also helped me too. Once I have a son, he's 2.5. So I took that time too, which was nice. We did the restructuring about a year before I had my son Jackson. So I think God had a plan. He knew what was coming. And so it really made it easy for me too, I could take a step back, still run the company from home, but I was able to be a mom, which was really important to me. And so I still referred out everything to my team. We had the structures in place for everything to run smoothly. All of my clients were used to, the level of service I provide. My team provides the same service, and then had just even more hands on the transaction to make sure everything ran smoothly. So it was really nice for me as I was able to be a stay-at-home mom, working mom, I guess I could call it that. Working from home mom, outsourcing out to my client, to my team, and then still being able to produce what I did and give the level of service my clients that they're used to. So it worked out really well. And so also while I was on maternity leave, that's when I developed my app, which was kind of fun. So little busy, but being a mom was important to me, and I wanted to make sure. And I was fortunate too that I was able to be home with him. I was home with him for about a little over 2 years.
Yep. No, I love that. So, I'm curious.
I'm full time because he's 2.5, so he's in daycare. And so now, going back full time too, but it's still nice that we do have the systems in place with the team. And again, for my clients and the service that they're used to.
Yep. No, I love it. So and I've got a lot of follow-up questions, but it's so amazing. So my first question is, because a lot of real estate agents, it could be difficult to start handing things off, and especially, because not only, you a high producing agent in your market, but you're not in my market, there's, 5 million people. It's a melting pot. Everybody's relocating here. Most people don't even know, not that we don't get repeat referral business, but the vast majority is, people that don't know us. You're in a smaller market. Yeah. You've been voted the number one realtor 5 years in a row, all that, so you're this celebrity realtor in your market, smaller market, everybody. Was it hard not just hard for you handing off the clients to ensure that they got the level of service, but also, hard for them, because I would imagine with building up the name and reputation that you have in your marketplace, people that maybe expect you.
Yeah. So I think the big thing with transitioning to also the team mentality that we have, with being team leader, I package it to people right away, so I'll say Stacy. So my teammate Stacy and I are going to team up with you. She's going to be on the houses. I still negotiate the contract. They still can ask me any question. I'm just physically not there. And I let people know right away. I'm a mom first. I'm actually a single mom. So I'm a single mom first, and then I'm a realtor. And so I still, to this day, I don't work weekends and I don't work nights. Those are my time with my son. but any of my clients know too, like if I can't show them a house, they're not going to not see that house because I have a team. So the way I explain it and present it to every one of my clients, I've yet to have an issue with anyone being upset that they're not getting me to show them the property or whatnot, because I'm still very much involved in the whole process. And so the structure of that too, and the layout of the company, and how we, through our welcome emails to new clients, to them being repeat business and whatnot, we've set the stage for them. So there's no like, well, what the heck? Like, I thought you were showing me the house, and here comes Stacy. It's been communicated from the get-go, and I'm still there, and I'm kept in the loop on everything.
Do you think, from your experience in making this transition, that it's more of just kind of a limiting belief for agents? Because I think that
I do. I think people, they know that they can ask me questions. So when it comes like times like negotiating offers and whatnot, a lot of people do want my opinion, and I give it to them, and they'll ask the other agent's opinion too. And most of the time we've chatted ahead of time, so we have the same opinion. So it's not conflicting within the team. But I think a lot of people, and it was hard for me too. So before I even hired an assistant, it was hard. I was just killing it and kind of killing myself, just working crazy hours, doing 150 transactions as a single agent in a small market is insane. And I jokingly say, like, I'm not even joking, I will never do that again. I don't want to do that again. It was a wild time in my life, but it was like controlling. I'm big on like, I should be the one to do it. I need to do everything kind of control freak, but then it's like, I've got to work smarter, not harder. And I was working harder by trying to think that I have to do everything. So what I did is when I hired my assistant, I trained her on everything on how I do it. And everything ultimately would go past me on any questions on stuff, or, the buck stops with me. It's my name on, the sign. But so it was kind of letting go of a little bit of control in that piece of it, and having kind of somebody take the reins on doing other stuff for me, which was more just my internal being me, the type A person that I am. But ultimately knowing, like, I was to the point where if I wanted to continue to grow my business and have a bit of a life too, because I had really no life. The work-life balance was not there for me. And that's such a key importance. And I figured that out a little bit later. It took me a couple of years of just grinding to get there. But it's the best thing I ever did, is let go a little bit. And also, like, I hired someone smarter than me. I didn't hire myself. That was a big thing too. Like, I didn't want another me. I wanted somebody where I lacked, she shined. And that's what I got. And so it's kind of a process. And then, going over this training and stuff, like, this is the level that I do. This is what I do, how I do it, whatnot. And I have a checklist for everything. So, nothing's missed, but this is the level of service I provide. This is what I do. So that was kind of, I think, a stigma more so for agents. And I think us thinking that, oh no, the client has to have us, has to whatever. I have personally found, and like, yes, a lot of people do know who I am in the marketplace, or maybe want me. They're perfectly happy with a teammate. They would rather see the house, especially in this market, than to miss out the house because I'm unavailable to show it to them. And I think it's just kind of a mental block, because I had that years ago about I have to be the one to do everything, when in fact I don't.
Yep. Yeah. Powerful stuff. So then I'm curious with, because I get asked a lot about, or for advice from moms, right? And it's tough for me because, number one, I'm not a mom, right? And we both got into business at a young age. And by the time I started having kids, I was married in a position where my wife could stay at home. So like, I've never not been able to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And then I just get to go home and play with the kids. And I don't have this, so, because, man, is we know this business is a lifestyle and can be very demanding. And then, trying to be there with our little ones. And, what advice would you give for somebody? What were things that you found that helped you kind of hate the word balance? I don't know if there is, such a thing, but making sure that, you're investing that time that you want to, with your son, as well as doing the things that you need to do in the real estate business.
Take advantage of nap time. So a little bit. I've been pretty much alone with my son as a single mom since my son was about a month old. So it's just been me and him. I am lucky that I did grind it out for a decade, basically. So I had an established clientele base and whatnot. Also, like I said, a year before we had restructured our company. For me, it's finding somebody, I've been masters too. So like my advice is find like a teammate, someone to partner up with that can take the reins on clients. And, you know, like I said, you don't want your client to miss out on a property because they will find another realtor. If you're unavailable, you're watching with your son. I had people that were like, oh, bring your baby with. I didn't bring my baby with. I think that I just didn't. Some people can, that's fine, whatever. I also have never had a nanny or a babysitter. So I did most of the stuff from home where I work on like different stuff with me during nap time, or sometimes when my phone and my son was young, but now that he's older, you know, he's like, Mom, put the phone down, stop working. But I think just finding someone who has the kind of the more availability in their schedule to, you know, or like team up with somebody or find a team to be on where you can have somebody help you with your clients in that kind of time frame. I think to think that we can do it all with a baby on our hip, you're gonna spread yourself too thin, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, I love that you brought up you know, teaming up with somebody or even considering joining another team if they're not in a position where they, you know, had the foundation like you had built, you know, because sometimes people might think, oh, well, my situation is different than Angie's because I don't have that foundation. But the reality is somebody's probably built the foundation that you can go jump into and get that extra support and get that extra help, you know, that you need, you know, because it comes down to leveraging that time. And I've had to learn this lesson the hard way, but we hear it so much, you know, with, you know, those that have, you know, older kids, but like I've never met one person that, and I used to work in the hospital on the hospice floor as a nurse's aide. So I've had a lot of conversations with people as they were, you know, kind of towards the end of their life. And I've never heard anybody that says, I regret spending too much time with my kids. It's always the opposite.
It was like every client that I had, so I would refer it out to clients or to my team, and I would just do a straight 50-50 split. Clearly, I lost half of my income, but for me, I made a life choice to do that because if a nanny sent me a video of my son rolling over for the first time while I was showing a house, I know me, and I would then resent this job that I love so much. So I knew going into this when I got pregnant, when I had my son, and I knew that I'd be doing this alone, I made the choice for me, like I leaned up. I cut back on expenses on different stuff, knew that I had to live off of less money than I was making, which was fine for me because I still lived within my means, but just leaned up on just stuff that I was spending that maybe was not really necessary, but just kind of fluff stuff. And I just did a 50-50 referral across the board to my teammates. And so I knew that that was the right choice for my family and for me and for my son, just so I could spend the time with him because a little personally, I was told I was never going to be able to have kids. So then God had this beautiful surprise for me to make me a mother. And obviously internally grateful for that. And so for me, it's really important. Like I did not want to look back and miss anything. And I also knew that if I did do that, or if I went right back to work and jumped right back into it, my personality, I'd resent my job. And I don't think I could even do the best job I could do because I'd be thinking, what's my son doing? You know, is he doing this, doing that, whatever, especially those first, like I said, 2 years of his life are really important to me. And I'm very grateful I was in a position to be able to do that. But ultimately, too, I'd rather make 50% of something than 100% of nothing. So I think, like, you know, trying to find someone to team up with, even maybe a newer agent that would have the same mindset of, I'd rather, you know, take on the kind of clients for somebody if they wanted to refer them out. Or, yeah, like you said, joining the team that has, like, the rainmaker on it.
Yep. So then with that, so let's just say, you know, somebody else listening to this just had a baby, they want to be at home and they're able to team up with an agent that is able to actually do kind of the client interfacing stuff and split it 50-50. You know, what were the tasks that, I know that you weren't necessarily having to do paperwork and all that stuff because you have that admin, but like what did your kind of schedule look like? Because it is hard to with, you know, it's not like a 1-year-old, like we can time block, you know, right? Like when they need stuff. So like, I'm just curious, like how did you kind of structure and fit in and adapt your schedule and the time, you know, to, cause you're still making it rain. You're still generating the client. You're just able to pass that client then off to a teammate.
A lot of it, you can't time block. babies and toddlers do what they want. So for me, it was just kind of trying to find the time that I could. Like when Jackson was really long, down the got me asked a lot. And so, but my thing is I'm open communication with my team. So obviously, like I said, I have an operations director, transaction coordinator. I'm filled in all the time, CC'd on emails, on calls, on like what's going on, where are we at on the status of different things. Texting me all the time, or I still keep up on the market. I just was doing it from home. I would bring my son into my office daily, actually. Just as kind of a fun little outing, and everyone likes to hold and then all that fun stuff for the baby. But I just was kept abreast of everything. Another thing too that I did was obviously I didn't want people to think like that I went away. In a sense, we're like, where is she at? So anything of mine, like with a co-broke with a teammate, went under my name. So the way we do it, the teams now, like if it's Stacy's listing, it goes under Stacy, and not as a team leader, it doesn't always go under me, which I know some people structure it that way. But I didn't. But so everything that the listings and whatnot are buyers, we're always, okay, Angie and Amy, Angie and Stacy, Angie and Zach had a buyer. So for me, it's like I wanted to keep a presence too, and kind of have the community thinking in a sense that I was working a bit more than maybe I was. Because it was my client, so there's that piece of it. So my client did close the house, but the teammates of mine picked up the reins on stuff. Like I said, if the seller had questions, I reviewed all of the listing stuff. I priced the properties. If buyers have questions about properties they've seen, like I said, like Stacey and I would talk first, kind of where we at pricing, knowing that the client was maybe going to call and ask my professional opinion too. We made sure we were linked up on our thought process on stuff. So the involvement there too. My biggest thing is I still wanted to have a presence in the community versus if I'm not getting clients, I'm not making any money. So that was a big piece of it too, and how we did it. And then the way our social media is presented too, it kind of it shows a lot more of like business that we're doing as agents as well. If that makes sense.
Yep. Love it. So I know that this podcast, these live on forever and will be out there in the internet forever. But at least the time I was recording this, we're still in the middle of this COVID-19 mess. And actually right now we're in the middle of this election, debacle that's going on. It feels like we're
Kanye didn't win though, unfortunately for him.
What's that?
I said, pretty sure Kanye didn't win, so we know that.
I know.
Sure.
Yeah, so lots of craziness, but I'm curious, what were things that you did? Because look, when COVID hit, like everybody was freaking out, not knowing what was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to cause an economic crash, a real estate crash, and real estate, at least in my market, it was like, March and April got a little ugly, but
were you guys open in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we were too. I know like Michigan shut down, but so we've always been essential. Our business didn't really slow down that much, to be honest. We took different precautions for sellers, obviously, limited showings to key essential decision makers. So, like an aunt didn't encourage them to come with, obviously. Hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, had protocols for the sellers, leave the doors unlocked, open, key places, or make sure the gloves are set out so people can do that. The lights being turned on, and packaging the home so people can walk in, touch as minimal amount of stuff as possible. Buyers, like I said, we have the masks, hand sanitizers, key decision people. We used to allow overlapping showings on our listings. We cut that down, so 30-minute showing time slot for people, and then just the key decision makers.
Yep. So then, what were things, if anything, that you had to adapt to through this, that kind of were discovered blessings that you are going to continue doing, whether that be like Zoom listing presentations and buyer presentations?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I did quite a few Zoom, or I FaceTime mostly, like listings, CMAs, or having people. We want to get our house on the market. What are some things I can do before you guys come in? And so I did several just consults via, I guess I did, FaceTime. I think I did one Zoom, which was kind of interesting too and a little bit different. Same thing with buyer consults. I had a couple of people that wanted to have more of that face-to-face interaction than on the phone, but we're doing more of those than the sit-down ones at our office like we usually do. So from our team, buyer consults, we meet with the buyer ahead of time to make sure we're not just going to be a little like we call pop chart, like pop up, show any house. We want to make sure we meet the client kind of qualified before we go see houses. So we're doing that more on phone conversations or like Zoom or FaceTime.
Yep. So then what's your market been like? I know you said that you guys didn't really slow down. Has it taken off? Because it seems like a lot of the suburbs and smaller markets are getting such a big influx all throughout the country from people that are wanting to get out of these bigger cities.
I don't know so much if we're about an hour and a half south of Minneapolis, St. Paul, which people are leaving Minneapolis for perhaps obvious reasons. You watch the news, but Mankato is a big college town. We've got some big corporate companies here too, so they're always bringing people in. We definitely have inventory shortage right now. Buyers I have knock on wood, never had a single deal fall through because of COVID. We've had more, like all of our sellers, Jamie, are getting multiple offers over asking price. It's just been like a hot market, and COVID really hasn't seemed to affect it that much at all, which was kind of surprising to me. And like I said, the fact that I haven't had anybody. One person thought they might get fired, but they didn't end up getting fired. They still purchased the house and sold their house. And so there was kind of safeguards in place there. They weren't overbuying or over leveraging too, which is good. Some people do, if she were to have lost her job. But other than that, we've been kind of fortunate in the sense where we didn't really see any of that happen. But prices here are gone up substantially. The market's just crazy. It's on fire. More agents are coming to the market too, which is interesting to see. But yeah, it's just been kind of a wild market. So we definitely still need buyers or sellers. So it's definitely a seller's market.
So I'm curious with your take, because you and I both have been in this game for a long time, and to me this feels like when I first got in the business in 2005. This time, and not in the way that I get loans aren't done like they used to be, no docs, stated income, crazy loose loans. But a lot of people have fear of where the market potentially could be heading, because I guess law of physics, what goes up must come down. And with that, I'm guessing that with your agents and clients, you might be getting this question a lot, but like, where do you see the housing market going in the next couple of years?
I think there's definitely going to be a correction. I think there almost has to be with some of these prices. So I just closed on Monday a property that my client bought 3 years ago for $145. They sold it for $185. So seeing some of these numbers are just kind of insane to me, where people are overbidding. I had somebody at my door, in my dining room. Just seeing some of the multiple offers going so far over asking price. I had another property that was listed for $225. We got an offer for $240 within 10 minutes or 10 hours on the market. And it's kind of like, this is great for the sellers, but I think, when the buyers go to sell it, I worry about what the market's going to do because of the inflation and the prices right now. And most stuff is appraising out. Occasionally we have a couple that aren't, but I think there's going to be a correction sooner than later.
Yeah. Okay. It gets the point when you start outpricing the locals, and in our market, it's so nuts because we'll have 20 or 30 offers on every property, and to get the property, you're having to bid 40, 50 grand above. You have to waive the appraisal contingency, and and I get these low interest rates, are assisting that, but the second those inch back up, I mean, I can't imagine the Fed can keep it at zero forever, plus again, even with these low interest rates, it's just like, we're selling all these homes, but I'm like, how do people make the kind of money? Like, I know the money I make, and I know that most of the people in our market don't quite make as much. I don't know how these people are figuring this out and the affordability, man. It just blows my mind.
I think that all the time. Like, there's been times where people have kind of like, well, it's a weird balance, because it's kind of like, do you want to, just because you're approved for 300,000 and then you're at damn near 45% DTI, should you really be spending all 45% of that because you've been approved for 300? And then it's ultimately too, it's kind of like, well, I'm not their lender. I didn't go over their finances with them. I don't know, but I've had a couple of clients that bought a few years ago, kind of, the lender said I could afford 350. I need to have a house at 350. And now they're like, this payment is killing me. So they're selling and kind of downsizing a little bit. I feel like we're going to see that a little bit too, but just the overbidding on prices on houses and then people making it up with extra cash down, which is great, but it's like that equity, you're going to be lucky if you break even for what you owe when you go to sell. If you go to sell within the next couple of years. I mean, most people don't live in their house for 30 years. Like, I mean, my mom's lived in her house for 30 years. Most people don't do that. A lot of, I've had a ton of repeat clients in my, 10-year of doing this. And I think 2 younger generations as well. So I think the same thing, like, how are you affording this? And I know what I make, I know what other people do, but I also live a little bit more lean, like I said, but because it's just me. So I don't have another income to fall back on if I decided to overspend or go crazy. So.
Yep. So
and kids are expensive.
Yeah. Yep. I know.
My son asked me if I could buy him a red monkey.
Yeah.
I don't think I can afford a red monkey, honey.
Well, and they as they get older, they get, we were just budgeting the other day. Like my daughter's in this competitive cheer now, and with all the travel and the cost of tuition and flights, and because we have to bring the whole family for the that's $25,000 a year just for one extracurricular activity. Then then they're all in different activities, and like it keeps adding up, man. I'm curious with what's working really well today, for getting clients for you.
We're really big. So we have a lot of referral business, repeat clients, customers. We're big on kind of giving back. Like we do a pie event. So we're rolling that out for Thanksgiving. But we're big on like loving up on our past clients who know us, love us, done business with us, and give us a lot of referrals. So we're really, I think, kind of exceed on maintaining those relationships. And I'm personally really big on appreciation. I like to always let people know how much I appreciate them. So I think our company is really great at doing that and keeping in contact with our sphere of influence. We don't spend a ton of money. Like, we don't buy Zillow leads. We don't spend a lot of money advertising to buy clients, or leads, I guess I should say. We're big on kind of our reputation. People say like, oh, I see your name everywhere. I hear you're the best. I want to do that. Or most of our clients come from repeat or past business. And we have really good social media marketing too, which I think is great. We get a lot of that. We get a lot of impressions on how we post our properties and market them on social media too.
So when it comes to the social media marketing that you're doing, because what I love about social media is it's great for getting new clients, but also it's so great for, it becomes almost like another CRM, mm-hmm. right? It allows us to keep and retain those deeper connections. I'm guessing that all your clients and past clients, like, know who your son is, even though they may not know who he is. And,
well, sort of. I'm very weird. I probably am not doing it correctly. You have a ton of friends. I am very limited on that. If I wouldn't say hi to somebody in the grocery store, I am not friends with them on Facebook. Which I know people think is weird. I probably would go against my own advice on this, so maybe don't do what I do. But I just am so protective of my son, where I don't post a lot of business stuff on my personal page. So a lot of, I post a lot of photos of my son. I had an experience with my nephew. I used to post a lot of pictures of my nephew, who's 9. But so my brother and I and my nephew were in Lowe's, and somebody walked up and was talking to my nephew. And I'm like, oh my God, he's even cuter in person. And my brother was like, who is this person? Why do they know what my son looks like? So I'm fiercely protective as a mom. Like, people know I have a son, but I'm not really friends with clients on Facebook. A lot of them follow my business page. And I do post some personal stuff there. Like, I posted a picture of Jackson in a costume. I didn't post a picture of his face. I posted a picture of me and him. It's a side profile. Just kind of because I choose to be so public with my image. I don't want to do that. So I don't really do that. But I do pay attention to like different clients and whatnot. I've gone on their pages and have a little running list of like, house anniversaries, they get a card, birthdays, they get something from me. So there's really good tools for if you want to have like kind of a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet of information, important dates of your client. Facebook is a great one to stock people out and find information. to then send them something. So we're good about doing that. I just don't have people connected to me directly on my page, and simply because of my kids.
Yeah.
If people like posting pictures of their kids, awesome. I'm all about it. I love seeing kiddo pictures. Yeah, friend your clients. I just don't do it. People try, and I think they can follow me, but I just don't accept it. I have like over 410 week requests children.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing is there's workarounds for everything, and there's so many different. I had somebody reach out to me the other day that is wanting to grow their social media presence and grow business off their social media, but her and her husband, they had a conversation. They don't want to post. They made an agreement that they don't feel with the crazy world that we live in that they should be posting photos of their kids. And like I told her, I'm like, well, look, look at Gary Vee. Just an example. I mean, he's probably the most public but private guy you'll see is a big influencer. And there's ways to go out there and do it and be intentional with it, just like you mentioned with your business page and so forth. And
so like my business page has almost 12,000 or just under 12,000 people that follow me or what like it or whatever it's called. But so like I do post like personal stuff on there. Like I said, like I did a thing with like my son's Halloween costume, and same thing with like my work Instagram or whatnot. So if people are more private, I guess my advice would be still have that personal side. No one wants to follow kind of a page, especially when it's for a person, not necessarily a company. So mine is Angie VanEman, my Realtor. So what I do is I do sprinkle in personal stuff in there too. So people do feel like they know me. It's just not direct connection with my, friend to friend. It's page to client, I guess, or people that choose to follow. But they still get to see like, inside look kind of my life. But I'm not a big selfie person. I'm not a big, look what I'm doing. I probably should take a picture of us and post it that we're doing this today, but I will do that before we're done. But that's just kind of, I think I'm going to be 36 this month, I guess. So I'm probably a little bit over the cusp of like the selfie. I'm not a TikToker, that piece of it. But I think people still feel like they know that I have a child. They know pieces of my life. And then for me doing it on my business page, I'm able to control that a little bit more so than just seeing a picture of my son wrestling a pumpkin that I posted yesterday. It was fun.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing that it probably makes it where you enjoy social media a little bit more. And then the reason why I say that is like for me, I hate it now. I mean, it's a pain to post. I can't stand going on there because I do have so many connections on there. And between my business page, personal page, I mean, maybe it's 50, 60,000 people I'm connected with. Like of all those people, maybe I know 50 of them.
Yeah.
Like truly know them, so for me scrolling through, it's just like, I have no enjoyment. I'm not able to just go in there and really check up on, like, to me, it's just, I'm totally burnt out of all of it,
I feel that way on my like business, Instagram. Like the other day I was like, I don't even know some of these people, like I'll get like cool cat, man. I'll like it, but it's like, I don't really know who them. So yeah, I do try to keep like my personal stuff, just my personal page, just me, but.
Yeah, especially this year, everybody is a health expert and then a political expert. It's just like, I'm so ready for all this to be over. So then I'm curious with that. Like, so then with the business page, are you guys doing? Because you mentioned you don't do a lot of paid stuff. Is it more just kind of organic stuff that you guys are posting of your properties and events that you're hosting or whatever, or are you also doing some paid stuff?
We do paid stuff occasionally, but not all that much. So the way we have it set up for all of our agents, each of our agents minus one has a business Facebook page. So it's, Angie VanEman, American Way Realty, we have that. We're American Way Realty, so on and so forth. And then we have the American Way Realty page. What we do is, so if I list something at 123 ABC Drive, okay, like check out my new listing at 123 ABC Drive, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, blah, blah, blah. We do a bit.ly link. Check it. So that goes on my page. But then on all the other teammates' page, they'll say, check out this new Team American Way listing, 123 ABC Drive. So it's the same kind of information on there that goes to all the other agents' Facebook pages, the same as our company page, leading everyone back to our website. And so how we do with that is each individual agent obviously has their own, sphere of people that follow them. So people that maybe don't follow me, follow Zach, then they're getting eyes on that property too. and it's branded towards that it's a company lead. So it helps the other agents out as well, because it looks like, holy shit, they're killing it with all these listings. A lot of the customers, people on social media seeing it don't realize that it's not them specific. So kind of like perception is reality. People want to do business with busy people. So we kind of do it that way. So we get a pretty good reach of eyes on our properties that way. Stuff sells so quickly too. So, but we also utilize like every step of the like kind of life of a listing, so to speak. So, always taking that content and posting it and advertising it to get more exposure and putting something else out there.
Yep, love it. So, speak to us of what, like how the app idea come together.
Oh.
And curious of, because you also created this app while you were just had your son, and like how'd this come about?
Okay, so when I found out I was pregnant with my tiny miracle, they have those silly, they're not silly, kind of silly. So they have like those bump baby apps, right? Where it's like, my baby is the size of a camper. I'm whatever week pregnant. And they have kind of the little doodles or stickers that overlay on the pictures. And so I, kind of took part in that and like, oh, here's my bump picture and whatnot. And I've always been big too on marketing and branding. I always joke like brandthatshit.com is your own that URL. So, always promoting myself and whatnot. So it's kind of like, this is a cool app idea where you can kind of put stickers over a photo that you can take. So like, wonder if this could be work for real estate. So what my app does is called the Branded Agent. So you download it, you enter your contact info like one time. So I upload my headshot, upload my company logo, my name, my phone number, my company name, put your license number if required. Minnesota doesn't, so I don't have it on there, but there's an option. So now I have this app that I can either take a picture of a house. Let's say I put the sign in the yard, new listing, snap a photo of it, you include your sign if you want to. It's already pre-branded on the bottom. You enter your info one time, it's always on there at the bottom of the page. But then I also have like different graphics and doodles, I call them. So you can go through and pick a sticker that says coming soon, and it's cool font, like that you just put over the picture, kind of like the whole watermelon size baby, and it's everything real estate. So it's utilize every stage of the listing, or even with buyers, like you bought a house, signing closing day, or going to the house staging day. If you want to take a picture of a cool living room and put staging day, picture day, coming soon, sale pending, price drop, new listing, free MLS, must-see home, you name a real estate term, I have a graphic for it. And then other thing too is, so if you wanted to do like, okay, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So I have like little doodles or kind of emoji type things that you can lay, put on top of the photo that's of a bathroom, like a little toilet or whatnot. So if it's a 4-bedroom house or 4-bathroom house, you just, use the type part of it, type the 4, you could put it anywhere on the photo that you want. So it literally can be done in minutes, and you just click a button and it uploads it right to social media. It's already the size it needs to be, but everything is then branded to the agent. So that's consistently at the bottom of the photo. And you can utilize, like I said, one property, you can basically utilize 10 different times. What I mean by utilize it is have different content put out there. Not a lot of people have a ton of listings. So if you have one listing, you can basically turn that into 10, minimally 10, different ways of posting content to Facebook versus, here's my listing from my website, over and over again. So people keep seeing the same thing. So it's all done on your phone. Literally, you can do it in a minute. You can even upload, professional photos taken if you want that picture, just upload that from your camera roll. So it's all just done to kind of take it out there and then, continually having, how news feeds just roll. So if you constantly have content putting out there, it's not something people have already seen. You're getting your name, your brand, everything out there several times utilizing one property list. And then it flips it over to, you can, like I said, with buyers, I have, with the cute buyer picture that yes, the address, that's the keys. We did a thing today, kind of fun little catch terms that you can put on photos and upload it. And saved you. I used to have a marketing company that I hired to do things like that. And I think it was like $150 to do it. And then every little edit, they charge you for every possible thing. So I just kind of saw a need in the marketplace. I thought it was kind of a cool idea. And I was like, this is something I would use. And I definitely think other agents would too. So I made it. There it is.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I mean, number one, I think most agents, and myself probably being the worst with this, of like, look, I'm not a creative. I'm not a graphic designer. Like I can't tell you how many hours I've tried to spend figuring out Canva, and I can't figure it out. Right?
That's funny. So Cheryl on my team is the same way. She's like, my mind works numbers. I'm a numbers person, details, creative, anything, marketing. She's like, my brain doesn't work that way. And mine does. My brain works that way. I'm not, she's, the yin yang, she's better than I am. And so, knowing that people are that way and don't have the creative vibe or the look, or like Zach from my team, God bless him, but he's like, I'll sit there for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to do this, how to write it, or, an hour's gone by and I haven't gotten anywhere to post anything on social media. I know I need to, but I don't know how to. So it's kind of like, I wanted to make it as easy as possible for agents to just, snap, click, done.
Yeah, I love it. And for those that are watching and listening, I learned this strategy from you. And I don't know if it's from our last podcast or just, I know we've had a lot of conversations over the years, but, repurposing, let's just say a listing,
yes.
Right, where it's, okay, we're going to do a nice picture of the front for the coming soon, right? Then a picture of that kitchen with the just listed. Another, maybe a picture of the backyard for the under contract, right? Then another one for the just sold. And we're not saying it's a different property, right? But the perception of people, like perception is everything, right? And we started doing that, I learned that from you. We started doing the same thing on the
I love that.
And dude, it is, it's just murdered it for us. Like it has crushed it on such a high level, especially for the repeat referral business. I mean, we have agents now that have been on the team for 2-3 years, and 50% of their business is repeat referral business. Just because now it gives them, of course they're posting other things on social media, but just always having that presence on there keeps them front of mind, and it's so powerful. To go out there and do it. It's been a game changer for us. And
I agree. Like, I think a lot of agents too, it's like they want to post something and don't have, like, what are they going to post? So that's why we did it. Like, okay, we're going to post all of our listings as team listings on all of our agents' pages to constantly, have a little home in the news feed. But the same thing with like versus, and I'll catch black on this, but like those generic things you can buy, like keeping current matters. I don't know if people really read those. People can not get mad at me for saying that. But I think, people are posting either blogs or, people aren't really taking the time to read stuff anymore. People aren't, looking at whatever. So I think just constantly, taking the product, repurposing it. You can do it so many different ways to then just promote yourself. But you're also promoting your property in it too. But ultimately, you want to promote yourself as an agent. And people want to do business with agents that they think are killing. They don't want, I don't think, the new agents that you're their only client. They want, people that are experts at knowing what they're doing and are just going to kill it for them. So that's kind of the whole idea behind it too.
Yeah. And think about even for new agents, right? It's because a hard part is even with their friends and family, they may not want to use them because they're new. The new agent might be afraid to reach out to them because of that. But then it's like, look, okay, maybe you don't have a listing or buyer yet, but every time you do an open house, every time you're going out there and just previewing properties just to get to know the marketplace, I mean, you're able to go out there and, snap a quick photo, toss in the app, put the branding on there, and it creates that perception where, like you mentioned, people right away are like, dude, how are you doing this much business? Because
I was going to say, even like you're at a restaurant, have a good food, take it and use it in the app so it's a branded picture of the new restaurant and write a review on it. I just did that the other day in the gallery session. Can I share your post? I love it. I'm like, of course you can, like tie it into to the business piece and the community involvement with people, like especially supporting small business. So you're helping them, but you're also promoting yourself. I mean, I had people that would like see me out in public and be like, oh my God, it's so weird. I feel like I know you because my face was everywhere. I was so big on branding myself, promoting myself, where I kind of would get annoyed sometimes if I'd go in public and everyone would, hey, how's the market? What are you doing? No shit. When I had my son, I had a C-section. I'm laying there. The anesthesiologist behind me is no joke asking me about the real estate market. Swear to God, true story. And I'm like, okay, like trying to are we done yet? What are we doing? Which is great. But ultimately too, like I put myself out there, and that's what I was saying too about like my son's privacy versus not really mine. Like I'm out there, he can make the choice when he's older, what he wants to do with that. But, just branding yourself and putting yourself out there. And so again, like having your face and your logo, and then just the consistency of what you're posting and having it be the same look so people know when they see it too. You're training your clients too, or the public, to notice your brand and yourself. And that's one thing that I think I was pretty good at doing earlier on, that I kind of took that knowledge, transitioned it to what I do with my team, and we're killing it doing it that way too. And then took those key components to what would make my life simpler as a crazy busy realtor, crazy busy single mom, team leader, living a crazy life, to then in an app to be able to just bam, 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 done. So
yeah, that's so awesome, because I'm sitting there as you're saying all of that, like my mind didn't even go there when you were explaining it the first time, but it's like, dude, I'm constantly, every time I see a motivational quote that I like, I'm just grabbing this, screenshot, but I'm putting it out there, but there's no branding to that, right? Like all of that. I mean,
Steal it, save it on your phone, pop it in the app, upload the photo. Now it's branded. I do this too. And then just upload it. And then people share it.
Is it only for, this may be a silly question, but is it only for realtors, or is this something I can use for like all my businesses?
The actual graphics that I have, so I have like holiday graphics. So if people want to do like a branded post for Christmas coming up and take a picture of something, it'll say Merry Christmas. You can change your company name on it and your logo and your headshot. But all the other kind of terms and whatnot are just strictly real estate. If you want a fun, cute, like graphically designed, I don't even know the right word, cool fonted looking, sold, coming soon. Other than that, but you could use it for your other businesses if you don't need. But you can type on it if you want to, if that takes future. But I made it specifically for realtors, and like I said, I literally have I think every single term you can think of for real estate. And if I miss any and someone uses it, message me and I will add it for you.
That's so awesome.
But I think I have everything. But yet, like a big thing too, like so holiday, I have a different graphic or layout kind of where you can upload it over any picture you take. If you wanted to have, some people have beautiful front doors, for Thanksgiving or Christmas or I guess Halloween. Take a picture of it, pop it in your ad, in your app. It's branded, cute little picture, says Happy Halloween. There you go. Versus the generic ones you find online that are not branded. Or you have to pay a marketing person to make one that is branded for you for $100 and some bucks a pop.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So it's called the Branded Agent. Mm-hmm. Is this, you mentioned with the phone. So is this like App Store kind of a thing, or is it?
It's in the App Store. I just did the iPhone for the first part. I do plan to roll out for the Android, but I just did the iPhone now. If you download it, you get 1 month free. You can cancel anytime. So if you download it, you hate it, cancel it, that's fine. After the month, it's a subscription of $9.99 a month.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who is a droid anyway?
What?
Who is a droid anyway?
That's kind of what my thought was too. That's why I just did the iPhone. I'm like, I don't know many realtors that have, everything's like Apple. So
yeah,
I did have one. I've had 2 people that have reached out to me that would like that. So
yeah, no, that's so cool.
I hear you, the 2 people.
What's that?
And the 2 people, if they're watching, I hear you. I will work on it.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I think everyone's got kind of the iPhone now, especially with the picture quality is amazing. Like we do professional photos on all of our listings for the company. That's just a company standard. But when you're just doing kind of basically branded content to repurpose and post to get your name out there and have something out there, the iPhone photos or cameras.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm not, I'm not one of these people that's like hardcore Mac or hardcore. Like I'm like a guy that's the best device for the job, right? So it's like my setup in here, you can't see it because obviously you're on the other side there, but my dual screen setup for what I do my webinars and podcasts, like I custom built the Dell for this, right? But then for like my laptop, or my phone, like I find, with the iPhone, and what I love about the iPhone is, the video quality
Yeah.
Like, so one of my buddies is he's in real estate now, but he was a Hollywood film editor for 20 years. Like he did all the trailers for like the Avengers movies and cars. And so like this dude's got some gnarly equipment, and he did a shot one time. I mean, with his like, $20,000 amazing camera setup, and then also did one on the new iPhone with the 4K shoot.
Yeah.
And edit, like you can't tell the difference,
That's
and I love it because we do so much text video, like customized text videos for our follow-up and whatnot. And with a Droid, like you just can't, there's some bonuses to the iPhone. So
I agree. That's one of my things too, is like the photo quality.
Yep. So anybody that's watching and listening, wherever you're at, whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play, wherever you're at, if you guys scroll below, we'll have I don't know if we can do the app links, but at least we'll have the name and whatever so you guys can remember.
I can give you the link to, if you go to brandyourphotos.com.
Okay.
It's the website. It gives kind of examples of what I'm talking about. You can see different things that people have created using the app. Also, there's a link to download it. And if they want to read anything about me or a little thing about me on there too, and just basically how to use the app. But ultimately, too, if people want to reach out to me directly, if any questions, I'm more than happy to help with that.
Yeah, love it. So with all this going on, I mean, now you've co-owning the brokerage, you got the real estate team, you've got the app as well. What do you see? Like the next, it's been 5 years since the last podcast. What do you see happening in the next 5?
Oh goodness. Grow the team strategically on how we're going to do that. Grow the app too. I have a lot of different ideas. We're right now just in phase 1. I've already have phase out to 5. Probably doesn't surprise you if you know me. So I have a bunch of different ideas on how to do that. Make it as easy as I can for real estate agents, and basically taking all the stuff that I've done, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing, advertising, different things that I've done, ebbs and flows, what I've learned, make it very easy for agents to kind of continue to be involved in my real estate business, buying, selling, like I said, grow the team, a little bit more strategic. Hopefully still doing what I'm doing, and we'll do this again in 5 years.
Yeah, or hopefully sooner.
Yeah, we can do sooner for sure.
Yeah. Well, love it. So Angie, I know that we talked about with the app, and we'll make sure to have links below for that, but if anybody does, want to reach out to you, I mean, we're all real estate agents here. Maybe they have a referral for your marketplace. They want to continue following all the awesome stuff that you're up to. What are the best places to go check that stuff out and get a hold of you at?
Facebook is good. My business page is search Angie VanEman, American Way Realty. I'm on Instagram, Mankato Real Estate by Angie. People can call me or email at our phone number 507-381-8961. Email Angie at Mankato, M-A-N-K-A-T-O, realestate.com.
Awesome. And those again that are watching and listening, you just scroll below.
That was so script. I was so like,
yeah, no, I love it.
How I say it. Sorry. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, when I did your last one, I got a lot of people that reached out to me. I'm literally happy to help anyone that has any questions about anything. Last time I was on here, I was really doing a lot with the expired market, just down market. And I said so many people, templates of what I did. I mean, I don't think anyone succeeds completely on their own. I mean, people help us along the way. So if anyone has questions, anything that I'm doing, and someone's like, oh, this seems like a great idea, or can't you talk about this? Like, literally, I'm happy to help anyone with anything and any questions people have along the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And those that are watching or listening, if you just scroll below, we'll make sure to, again, have all Angie's contact info, all the links that she just said, all her contact information, social handles, all of that stuff. And Angie, I truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy.
I loved it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. And those watching, listening, as always, we truly appreciate you guys being here, spending this time with us, and all your support. Keep up the amazing work. Keep kicking ass. And we will see you next time. Peace.
Boom.
I hope you enjoyed this GSD Mode podcast episode. Now make sure you get shit done and smash that subscribe button now.